So linguistic privilege just sort of writ large, and now sort of zeroing in on English related linguistic privilege is, I think maybe the easiest way to describe it is to describe how it manifests. It's English being seen as a necessity, as a necessary condition for social mobility, for economic mobility. It is having your needs and occasionally just even your desires catered to in your language without really having to do anything extra. It's about having to do less work to get the same results than other people. You know, I often think of what there's that quote about Ginger Rogers, talking about Ginger Rogers and Fred Astaire, and they say, oh, Fred Astaire was such a wonderful dancer. His partner, Ginger Rogers, what did she do? Everything he did, but backwards and in heels. Same thing in a lot of international companies that have English as their main operating language, but have a significant number of non-L1 English speakers. They're doing everything native English speakers are doing in a different language, right? A native English speaker just has to be an excellent scientist, an excellent engineer, an excellent coder, whatever, right? A non-native English speaker has to be just as excellent in a different language. And so that's what we're talking about when we talk, at least, you know, specifically about English. But if the situation were different, if we were living in a different timeline, we would replace English probably with a different language. But that's what we're talking about when we talk about that. So it's a similar system of privilege as operates in the gender sphere, as operates in the racial and ethnic sphere, as it operates in the religious sphere, all of these things, right? It is about the power that society accords to a certain set of traits or behaviors or skills or a background or whatever that keep you from having to encounter some of the barriers that other people have to encounter. So that those are just some ways that linguistic privilege manifests itself. And it's really important to remember that this is all going on against the context of English being a minority language in the world. Only about 17 to 20%, depending on how you cut the statistics. Only about 17 to 20% of the world speaks English at all. I mean, we're talking from functional to L1 speaker, right?
Wow.
So,
oh my God. That's so humbling. Necessary humbling.
Right? So fully 80 to 83% of the world does not have any functional competence in English at all. And yet a system of socioeconomic and cultural and political forces have gone into elevating English into kind of artificially elevating English into the status that it has. So that's what we're talking about when we're talking about linguistic privilege, is these barriers to mobility, these barriers to entry, these barriers to success that are put up in front of people that don't have functional competency in English, even though that bears not at all on their skill, their intelligence, their general competence.